Okay, so this is Catch Up with Coach Sports Talk. So today is Thursday Thirst because I know we got some betters, we got some football heads. We're all probably trying to get back into the race. If you're a fantasy person, there's a lot of things going on in the football season, so I get it. So what we try to do is just break down the Thursday game and whatever's on my mind because most of the time I had a lot going on up here. I've been coaching football for 20. Think about this. I've been in football since I was 10 years old. Since I was 10, I've taken two breaks from the game. The first break I took from the game was my mother made me take that break. Yeah, I wasn't the most studious person around. And so my ninth grade year, my mother made me like I couldn't, not even ninth grade, excuse me. Eighth grade and ninth grade, I couldn't play football. So it really was a 2 year hiatus, academic hiatus that I figured it out. I had to find ways to succeed. I had to find ways that helped me in the classroom. Had to find study habits that um were conducive to how my mind worked and to set a bar of success not from everyone else but from me. Yada 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 yada. Whatever, coach. I thought we were talking about football. Well, why did I go into this long ordeal or dissertation? So we have the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Ponies, the, the Broncos, of course. My man Jeff Smart, he used to call them the Ponies. I used to love that. Shout out Jeff Smart, Coach Smart. So anyway, the Colts, the Broncos. You're talking about two. Here's the best part about the Colts and Broncos. Both of those, like you can't call those programs or those franchise trash because they're not. Like they have great players all through their Hall of Fames. They have Super Bowls, but they have offloaded quarterbacks after quarterback after quarterback after them winning the Super Bowl. And so I guess, and we'll go back into more detail, I guess, but I wonder how many Super Bowl teams keep their quarterback outside. See, here's the thing. You can't talk about a successful team without at some point talking about the New England Patriots because much like the Chicago Bulls, they dominated two eras of of their specific discipline of football and basketball. And so there are a lot of people who didn't get rings because Jordan was in the league. Same to be true for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And so when you offload your quarterback or you change your coaching staff, there used to be a point in time where the fan base understood. And so the fan base would evaluate the quarterback, the coaching staff based on progress, not based on we behind. We behind the race. What we doing? What we doing? That's why we're in this microwave. Win now, be an all pro your first or second year. Man, if that was the era I grew up in football, half of our Hall of Famers wouldn't be Hall of Famers. So as we get into Russell, I'm about to call this man Russell Westbrook because basketball. I got Jedi mind tricked with basketball this morning. Anyway, okay, let's get back to it. Football. All right. So the number one thing that I looked at this game and I'm like, man, oh, you got Russ over here, you got Matty Ice over here, and it's not clicking. Why isn't it clicking? What's going on? I'm gonna give you how I see it. Obviously is not my word is not gold. I'm just a ball coach, and I'm just giving you what I see behind the stat sheet, behind the box score, behind the players. What am I looking at, right? Okay, so first thing, Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson. You could argue they would be, well, Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl. And I also think if you're a Super Bowl quarterback, you're going to be in a Hall of Fame conversation, unless your defense was the reason you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback, which is a few of those cases. But with all that being said, Matt Ryan got to the Super Bowl. I thought he played for the most part lights out in that Super Bowl against Tom Brady. But you messing with Tom Brady and you're messing with, again, shout out my man Champ. He has a thing. He broke down that entire game. And he was right. They threw the ball unnecessarily in that game. That just gave Tom Brady and them an opportunity to come back. Okay. And then you got Wilson, his last Super Bowl appearance. How about this? You can't talk about someone's Super Bowl appearance without mentioning the Patriots at some point. Yes, I know I went hard on the Patriots on my last broadcast about the Patriot privilege is showing and it's starting to kind of get annoying. But that's also because I'm a broken fan, man. I've never been to a Super Bowl. I've never seen a Super Bowl. The last playoff game we won, I want to say was probably 93. Detroit Lions, 93 maybe. I think we ended up losing to the Redskins. We beat the Cowboys, lost to the Redskins. The Redskins go on to win the Super Bowl. Shout out Mark Rippon. That was the quarterback of that squad. Mark Rippon beat us. And look, and then the next year, I think the Cowboys, or the year before the Cowboys beat us, which was I think 92, 93. And then the next year we went to the playoffs, and then the Redskins, that was the end of the Cowboys' reign. Redskins ended that. And so I say all of that to say the quarterback situation was much more stable back in the 90s. Matt Ryan, who is a quarterback who had to go through Patriot Nation and unfortunately lost. Russell Wilson, who got to a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, got back to a Super Bowl. And one could argue they should have popped. They should have popped the Patriots that week. That year, they should have popped the Patriots. But you know what? How the football guys work out, they didn't. Everyone wants to throw the ball. Everyone's too cute. He hasn't recovered from that. Matt Ryan hasn't recovered from that. A new team can help. Changing your geographical location can help. But it also sometimes is just changing the geographical location because you have not changed what's going on up here. You haven't changed you haven't had resolve on the plays of old. So, for example, I did a seminar for middle school. We talked about conflict resolution. And so when you think about the conflict resolution internally that Matt Ryan and my man Russ are still dealing with, they haven't resolved it. In the resolve, you almost have to jump in the DeLorean and relive it. Now, to jump in the DeLorean and relive those shabakos, yes, I know the word is debacle, but shabaku is a blank show and with baku. So we just combine the word. Shabaku. You're more than welcome to take that with you if you like. Okay. Yeah. So the Shabaku of they have to jump in that DeLorean, say, why did I throw the ball? Russell, when he played against the Patriots, he could have checked run. He had Marshawn grab your sack Lynch. Like he could have checked it. Still living in the pain of old is difficult as a football player. That's why you change teams. That's why you change schools. That's why sometimes you get traded, waived. or cut it. That unfortunately is the reality of the quarterback position, a franchise, a program, and a coaching staff sometimes. I had one coach tell me, look, you better hit it before your bread gets stale. Eat the bread, leave the bread, or his thing was you need to do three things as a coach. You need to one, either eat all of the bread fast, meaning get kids graduated, get the kids they contract, or trade them. If you keep the bread at with any type of longevity, expect the bread to get stale. Like that's the reality, unless you freeze the bread. And his point in that, like, we can't freeze players, we can't freeze plays, we can't capsulize the moment we had 2 years ago with him and bring that back. So the bread is either gone stale, his plays have gone stale, his work ethic has gone stale, his execution may have gone stale. He spoke to it as, listen, okay, you either eat the bread, once you eat it, it's gone. So if you get him in a 3-year contract and he did his numbers, let him go get money elsewhere. If you keep the bread, you guarantee the bread is going to get stale. Okay. And then the third one was, listen, if you're not going to get rid of the bread and you're not going to eat the bread, then they're going to get rid of the baker. And guess who's the baker? The coach. So as a coach, you have some decisions to make on how you're going to treat the bread. Right. And the reason why my players used to be like, Coach, man, you always talk about break bread. Well, there's a spiritual symbolism for me when I say break bread. But when this coach put me on, don't let your bread get stale, it also changed it because we need to eat this bread, break this bread, have some conversation over this before battle, before we go in the game. Not real battle to all my war vets because football is not war. We just use it as a symbolism and as a metaphor for all of the difficult things that we have to do in athletics, but it does not compare. Okay, moving on. Okay, so my point is Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan are bona fide stud quarterbacks. However, they're not performing that way. Is it because they're old? Maybe. Tom Brady kind of inoculates that theory sometimes, but it's Tom Brady and he even struggling. Matt Ryan he's thrown 5 touchdowns and 5 picks on the year. And so that's the first problem that I'm identifying with the coach. The second problem I'm identifying with the coach is Taylor a year ago. Now he might be hurt. He might be banged up, might be dealing with injuries. I'm not in the locker room and I don't go through the injury report. Taylor not carrying the ball enough. He only got 81 carries right now and 1 touchdown. So, like, add into the coach got a arm, they got a trigger man behind him. But what they don't have is a shotgun, right? So the trigger man shoots long range, the shotgun handles them up close. I mean, can we get the NRA on for this as a sponsor? I'm not pro guns, but hey, that was pretty good. All right, anyway, so they don't have the shotgun, and the reason I call it shotgun because my uncle used to be like, "Hey, if you ride shotgun, you got to be able to know where the restrooms are, where the gas station is. You got a job to do, and your job is to be able to see things that's happening up close. Because I'm looking for exits afar, I'm looking for traffic afar, and so that that was always just an easy analogy for me as a ball coach in terms of developing a team or a roster, right? You need a trigger man and you need a shotgun. So in theory, the coach already had a shotgun guy. The shotgun guy Taylor was in conversations for an MVP a year ago as an MVP running back. Carson Wentz kind of still wasn't stabilized. The coaching staff wasn't quite stable. Yeah, it was a lot of things. So what they did, they, as Putney Swoop would say, they not gonna rock the boat. They tipped it over. Got rid of Wentz, kept the shotgun, brought in some new coaches. But unfortunately, as they got rid of Wentz and brought Matt Ryan in, it has not worked out yet. But I also believe Matt Ryan is dealing with the PTSD of the Falcons. Like that's real, man. That's real. Also, it speaks to why, like, same thing with Russell Wilson. Oh man, divorces suck unless the divorce is mutual. I can't think of a quarterback who left the team and immediately bought out into the next team. I can think of four on one hand. Okay, I'll go through the list. We'll work backwards. Matt Stanford, obviously, he won a Super Bowl. Um, Joe Montana, obviously, he got the Chiefs to a playoff appearance when he left for Steve Young. Um, Brett Favre, same deal. He went to the Jets and made them a playoff team. Like these are mutual breakups. Like they had a run. Matty is Ice is a mutual breakup, but it was a breakup that unfortunately I don't know if Indianapolis was the other marriage he should have gone into. Because I don't believe Carson Wentz necessarily. So ultimately, he's doing the same thing that Carson Wentz did. If you go back and look at it, I mean, it's not too far off. I believe the coach will make a run. I believe the coach have everything that they need to really continue making this right. On the other hand, the Broncos don't. The Broncos are missing a lot. They're missing a lot. They're missing a receiver. They're missing running backs. All they have is Wilson, to be quite honest. And if you add into the reconstruction of their defense as they redevelop that, you figure Wilson, and again, the Wilson situation, I think, is it was a mutual breakup. But in that mutual breakup and leaving Seattle, like, and walking away from Seattle, like that was okay. But now it's like he has to get reacclimated to a team that unfortunately has been bouncing quarterbacks around like basketball. I mean, so like add into that. Like they had, don't forget the Broncos had Tebow too. Like, yeah, they got Peyton Manning, but that was on clearance. Hey, is Clarence working here today? No, sir. Who is Clarence? The clearance rack? Yeah, like the clearance rack. Is he working today? Or he or she? If they tell me no, I'm gonna be like, hey, let me know when Clarence come back in here. I'll be back. So, like, yeah, I'm just saying mutual breakups that have success, i.e. the Tom Brady's, i.e. the Brett Favre's, i.e. the yeah, like all the names that I just went in. But the ones that did not have success, whether you say it's a player, whether you say it's a coach, and sometimes, sometime, sometime all of the pieces are not in play. And I think that's the situation the Broncos are dealing with. Even though they're 2-0 at home, but that's because you're playing in Mile High Stadium, baby. Like those two wins, I give to the fan base. That's their wins. And I don't even want to get into who they play because the NFL right now in this is an interesting gap in terms of talent and matchup. Some teams are just more talented than other teams, but the matchups are not the same. And so when I look at the NFL today, especially matchups and talent are two different things. Okay. All right. So now I also want to go into that's all I got. I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm gonna tell you the Broncos eat at home. At home. Denver is giving three. First off, if you want those pepperonis, I would tell you to take them. Denver giving three. I'm saying the coach take this down and cover. I'm just telling you, go with the Colts. Don't go with the ponies. Home teams have been very disappointing. So, if anything, if you want to go with the home, okay, the Broncos are home and it's Mile High and they're 2-0 at home. And Russell might go off. Russell can create plays, create touchdowns, create a lot of things. But unfortunately, I don't think he can create it enough to get them to the playoffs or Super Bowl. And so, being that we're not even talking about them being a Super Bowl or playoff contender, we're going to move to our Patriots. Okay. We're in Patriot Nation. I'll deal with the Lions. I need more time to deal with my Lions. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. All right. All right. Okay. So, I feel a way about the Patriots and the Patriot fan base because I spoke to how Bill Belichick is coaching the game. Someone said he's not coaching to win. Like, bro, it's a lot of ways to win, and it's too hard to win to just say, air them out, go after them. You can't go after everybody. You may not be even equipped to go after everybody. If there's one thing I learned in my coaching career, is like pride, pride will be the fall of them all. And my prideful moments and trying to make a name for myself as a ball coach, I'm like, man, we emptying the clip on them. Let's eat. Empty all tanks. That's what eat means. Because we going at them. And so in my experience in a few games I've been in, I've emptied the clip. I've emptied the tank. We game plan to eat. And we got waxed because our tank was empty in the first quarter. We couldn't compete and empty the tank and sustain it. We didn't have the fuel, we didn't have the talent, we didn't have the depth to sustain emptying the tank for 4 quarters and saying in the fourth quarter. And for me, our engine would bottom out in the third quarter. And so, though I want to say, yeah, I'm being a competitive SOB, I'm going at them. Look, we ain't laying down. Look, eat, man. We here to eat. You say you hungry, eat. Empty all tanks. Now, that's the motivation in me. That's the football coach in me. And I'm getting all juiced up. I'm like, let's go, man. Stop playing with them. But can I be honest? All I did was get whooped harder, get embarrassed more, because I didn't evaluate, are my players able to go at them for 4 quarters at the rate that I can call plays? No, they couldn't. And could I have game planned it to eliminate how many times my players will be exposed with their empty takes? And so I'm like, oh, okay. After I got waxed, I got waxed. He wore me out, put 50 on me. Okay. Then I looked at the game differently because our time of possession was equal, but the time of possession, I think we equally had like 30 minutes of time possession and maybe give or take a minute here or there, but we only had 10 points. And then it got me to thinking, not that I didn't already know, but as a head coach, you have to game plan for your coaches to game plan an idea. Not the play, the idea of approach. Like, how are we going to go about this week, coach? Okay, this week we're going to keep the offense off the field and snap the ball at the 2-3-1 mark. Because per play, I can keep my offense on the field. We can go no yards, no yards, no yards, fourth down, punt. And when I punt, I only got to throw the ball one time. I throw the ball one time, and I'm going to throw the ball on second down. Because if I don't get it on second down, we run it on third down, let the clock go, let the clock go, let the clock go, let the clock go, punt. If we're good on second down, if we're real good on second down, not only did we get the first down, but now we made it a manageable third down to where if I throw the ball, all we have to do is complete the pass. So I can throw hots, I can throw nows, I can throw screens, I can do a lot of different things to keep the clock running and give me a shot at getting the first down without going vertical or without running intricate route patterns, right? And so I had to get a black eye, I had to lose a tooth, I had to break a nose to figure out how to game plan a team that I don't match up well against, um, that I don't want to get blown out against, and to make this competitive to see if the team that I'm playing can make this to make the mistake to give me the game. Because now this is chess, not checkers. So he make a wrong move, he throw a pick six, i.e., what you almost saw against the Patriots. Who threw a pick six? Mr. Rogers. And he went to the crib. And then they had the audacity to say he's only thrown 2 or 3 pick six in his career. Oh, so he threw one against Bill Belichick and made that game go into overtime when it shouldn't even gone in overtime. And when you saw Bill Belichick ranting and going nuts, you don't see Bill Belichick lose his mind. He was losing his mind because of the clock. Like, call the touchdown, make it be what it be, so my offense can go back on the field, milk the clock, and I get the ball last. But between all of the back and forth, that 2-minute mark, because they didn't call the play what it was, they were able to go out onto the field post 2-minute mark and they still have the ball, opposed to them having the ball and there's no 2-minute timeout. And by the time Bill and them get the ball, it's over. Like, I know you may have to go back and look at that game to kind of really take this in. And I might have to come back on and kind of give you some clarity with time of possession. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about right now. Okay, the time of possession. Okay. First off, I also want to share with you, he did that with his third string quarterback. Like, I understand. What do you dudes out there want from Bill? What do y'all want from Mr. Belichick? What do y'all want from Coach Belichick? I don't know. What do you want from Coach Bill? Whatever you want to call him, what do you want? Tom Brady at some point was going to retire. If he had a look, Tampa Bay not tripping because he retired and said he coming back. You retiring, coming back. I'm gonna be a passer, come back. All of that's good. Come back if you can come back. All of it's good. I'm just saying. Players' life shelf. Okay, my little bit of coffee in the NFL. You know what? You know what a coach told me, and a player told. Actually, it was one of the players I remember watching as a kid, Sean Jeffries, um, for the New Orleans, actually the Houston Oilers. He was a receiver coach, and he was like, "Bro, I'm just telling you, they go fire me before they fire you. But when they fire you, you ain't gonna get another job." Because like my job is to get fired to figure out if you can play. So once they fire me, now they go bring someone else in to coach you up, and they go through all of the song and dance. But once they fire me, they go fire you, and you're not gonna get no more work. And so when I think about what the Patriot fan base is tripping on with Tom Brady, oh, it was Tom Brady that made Bill great. What do you want from this guy, man? He's rebuilding an entire ball club. But I also understand more than half of the people who watch football and that probably are involved in football don't really understand it, how hard it is to win one, the nuances to get a football club moving in one direction. You're talking 70 to 80 people. 70 to 80 people, NFL was 56. But if you add all of the support staff, you're still talking 80 plus people now. So I don't think a lot of people understand the difficulties, the nuances that it requires a football coach to get an entire franchise or a program moving in a successful direction if everything around them is not set up to help that, if your media department is not set up to encourage that and encourage that idea that coach has, if your scouting department is not on the same page about the ideology of the coach, like there's a lot of people out there I gotta beat. I can't afford to beat the people in here. I can't afford to beat the people that's trying to help me go win. You can't afford it. And so when I think about all of the about the Patriots, like, hey, join the Lions fan base. That's how about that? How about that? Join the Lions fan base, and then you tell me how you feel about the Patriots. And I've lived in New England, and I've had to endure and all of my Detroiters and Michiganians, Lions fans that's out here that has to endure. They don't want to put our games on. The Patriots are playing the Lions. I couldn't even get a complimentary ticket. I couldn't get a media list. And they're like, no, it's already gone. So see all the privilege y'all have? I'm in New England with none of this New England privilege because I'm a Lions fan. And so I need you guys to relax. I need you guys to sit back, drink your Boston Lager. And I'll be honest with you, y'all probably gonna beat the Lions this weekend. What do you want me to say? Like the Lions are gonna try to go in it as a shootout. Bill Belichick go milk that clock. He's gonna milk the clock. And the Lions, I do not believe are prepared because they've just been in shootouts all year. So I don't believe that they're prepared to play an execution game to say it's going to be 4 plays out there that's going to dictate the win or the loss. 4. Watch it. Hey, if you can put it on Bill, you can put it on the betting line. I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, put it on Bill, bet Patriots, they go get it done. And that's it. That's it. Watch time of possession. This is Catch Up with Coach. I am Coach Malik Hall. Tune in. Check out the Effort and Attitude podcast. Check out Catch Up with Coach on YouTube, Facebook, and IG. And as always, catching up with you is my honor. So let's do it again. Peace.